Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval Creed. Today we'll be reviewing the 5th mission for the current event, and this will complete all the, I guess you could say, precursor missions right before we start the ultimate battles themselves. So I'm going to kind of cheat today. So technically, the sister ship for all of this, both of them actually, are prism ships. So you do actually have to use them, but Alzus herself is still a tech tree ship, and you don't need the camo to actually be useful. I mean, it's an effect. It doesn't actually affect the ship in any way or her performance. So even though it is a prism ship, camo, the ship itself is a tech tree ship. So we're going to be using Alzus today. Now I used my the blue camo version of all of this in one of the earlier missions when it came out, that being Martinique. But today I think I'm going to use the other one. So Martinique is my secondary focused all of this, and Lorraine, which is the pink camo one, is my fully anti-aircraft focused all of this. And you can actually, if you have both of these camos, you can equip them differently, even though they are exactly the same ship. So that is actually a really cool thing that I actually hope they come out more with. I would really like to see some more prism camos for non-prism ships. That'd be a really interesting twist. All right, so all this has a lot of 15-inch guns and some pretty decent secondaries. So let's see what we have today. Now, I was actually able to do both of these missions, or this last mission, with Alzus, and actually tried Fuzo too, which is even worse. It was a 6.2 matchmaking against like 10.5s and everything. So yeah, and I was actually able to beat it with Fuzo. So it's definitely one of the easier ones, honestly. So we have an FDR or a Coral C. We have an Armanche, we have two Rostislavs, an Ekaterina, a Sinop, Izmail, Genga, Kostroma, Stalingrad, Kutuzov, two Japaevs, two Grozovois, two Tashkents, and an Ustrashimi. And on our side, we have a Midway, an Enterprise, me, four Missouris, four North Carolinas, and two Baltimores, and a Pensacola. And if you couldn't already tell, we are automatically starting out as surrounded. Now we did actually mess with the audio a bit, because even when it's really low, it's still really loud in recording. So hopefully I didn't turn it down so much that you can't hear anything, but at least you're actually able to hear what I'm saying now. Okay, so once my guns decide to fire, any minute now, there we go. We're already starting to make our way over here. I'm going to focus my secondaries on the Grozovoy. Even if I'm not fully secondary spec'd, I do have the captain skill, so my secondaries do shoot out to like almost, was it 8 or 9 kilometers? With secondary spec, they shoot out even farther. That's why I love Martinique so much. Now, honestly, my secondaries aren't going to do much. A lot of them are too small of a caliber to actually do much damage. It's really the 6-inch triple turrets that you find super firing the main guns that are going to do a lot of the damage. I'm going to activate a speed boost and try and outrun the turrets on this Ganga. I'm not too worried about her, honestly, but I mean, it is a full broadside at less than 2 kilometers. All right, so now we're going to have to deal with the Sinop. Now the FDR, or the Coral Sea, does always spawn towards the north, with the Aramanche down south. Every time I've done this mission, I always have the same spawn. So you will all probably be in the same kind of boat, where you're going to want to head north, take out the FDR, and then swing around to the left and head back south and take care of the rest of the ships. Now, by the time you finish all the ships up here, there's only a couple of them at the very extent of your range that you can actually deal with. So you have the very beginning of the match to do as much damage as possible, but pretty much at the end it's just cleanup duty. Even with Fuzo I had that, so it's not impossible. Alright, so I'm going to swing out a little bit just to bring up my rear turrets here. I might regret that though. It doesn't look like I'm turning as fast as I want to. Alright, but her aim is off, that's fine. Synops are actually pretty difficult to Citadel, believe it or not. Alright, so we are under attack from the FDR. You can kind of see her over there. Those torpedo bombers are going to be the ones that worry me the most. So my rear turret should be able to finish off this Synop. There we go. Maybe get some good damage on this Castroma as well. Yep, that'll work quite nicely actually. And then trying to do a dance around the 16-inch shells from the Synop that were coming in, but also any torpedoes that could be coming in from these cruisers as well. And even though Kutuzov is less than 4 km away, the Roosevelt is actually the most dangerous enemy right now. Or at least was. Alright, so now I gotta run. I actually can outrun these torpedoes, so I'm not too worried about that. So we're just gonna work on this Kutuzov for a little bit. Oh, I can't outrun those though. I'm gonna take some of those. Man. When do you want to bet it's a flooding? Oh, surprisingly no, actually. Alright. And then let's finish off this cruiser. As you can see, by the time we finish off everything, there's 4 ships left. There's really nothing anymore. There's one. Put a seaplane up just to try and take down some more of these aircraft, because why not? And then we always have this Thrustoslav at the very end, and then the 2 ships down there. One being, actually the other Rostoslav, and then also the Aramanche. So now we just kind of have to do a long-range gunnery duel with this Rostoslav. And yeah, never underestimate the speed of the top-tier Dreadnought Soviet battleships. They can hit almost 30 knots, so they're not the slow kind of Dreadnoughts that you always expect to come across. They're pretty decent. Honestly, I think I might want to switch over to high explosive, even if there's not a lot of superstructure to set fire to. I mean, 12, 15-inch shells is still going to do a ton of damage, though we're only going to do 1 or 2 salvos and then go back to armor piercing, because that's still a pretty decent broadside. And the farther she gets away from me, the higher the shell angle, so I would start going through the deck anyways. So we're going to switch back to armor piercing. Wasn't the best lead, but 11, almost 12,000 damage, 2 fires, I'll take it. I do have a speed boost activated, so I am going over 40 knots now with all of my speed buffs applied. 42 knots. I am going to switch back to high explosive because I don't think this Thrustoslav is going to last much longer. In fact, I think yep, I have the kill. And so I will be focusing on this one, which is too far away for decent armor piercing. So we're just going to see if we can light a fire or 2 on her. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that high explosive is not, or armor piercing is not good at this kind of range, but I feel like it's better just to try and finish her off with high explosive. We got a fire. Can we get another one? Nope. That's fine. She'll go down soon to that. And the Aramanche will be going down soon as well. So, there you have it. We didn't really take that much damage, honestly. And we were able to win quite easily. So let's see what kind of damage we did. 395,000 damage, almost 400k. 6 ships were sunk, 100 hits, or shell hits, 22 aircraft shot down, and that's even with them just sitting over me after I sank the FDR. So you can imagine how lower tier ships are going to face. You're not going to shoot down many aircraft, even in like a Montana or anything. You might get maybe 40 aircraft, not really a lot. 17 citadels, 5 fires, 142 secondary hits. Damage wise, 14,000 damage in high explosive, 33 or 338,000 damage in armor piercing, 22,000 damage from fires, and 19,000 damage from secondary battery. All in all, pretty. It was actually pretty. I can't say it was a decent game. I've had a lot better games in that mission stage than the one I just did, but you can easily see that it doesn't take a lot to be good. Even if you have like a German battleship, so right at the beginning, all your secondaries would start opening up on the closest targets. Even that'll do a ton of damage. And then you don't have to have a ship with good anti-aircraft if you're able to get into a position to take out that Coral Sea right off the bat with a bunch of citadels to our side. I don't think I would ever try a destroyer for that mission. Cruiser is kind of pushing it as well. There are definitely some that are better than others, just like battleships as well. I don't know how carriers work in any of these event missions. I did not try one, nor do I think I would. I'm not the best carrier person, so I would not try and risk that and waste the fuel points that it takes to attempt the mission. With that, I will be wrapping up today's video, and starting tomorrow, we'll be going over the final missions, starting with lightweight. And we'll be going up against the suckers, which honestly are kind of OP. But we will talk more about that tomorrow. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.